Now, if you have ever fallen down a rabbit hole online researching the best rice or the best water temperature for your protein shake or the best angle for incline bench presses, I want to snap you out of that because, to be honest, it's this desire for answers that's possibly keeping you out of shape. I've been answering questions from guys over 40 for years now, and as much as I love chatting to guys my own age, about 90% probably of the questions are about details that just don't bloody matter right now. And don't get me wrong, I fall down internet rabbit holes myself at times. Choosing a laptop to buy took me a month once as I learned all the necessary, quote unquote necessary acronyms for things I ended up not really having to care about. But time and again, especially with workouts and diets, I think guys use being in research mode as an excuse to not take action or not fully commit to one path for long enough to get anywhere. So let's knock that on the head, starting today. Chris here from Over 40 Freaking Awesome. Now let's cut through the fitness industry nonsense and focus on what actually moves the needle today instead of getting lost again in details that don't really matter. Here's a case in point. Current client, Anthony, asked me whether warm or cold water was best for taking the creatine monohydrate that he's just bought for himself. Now, I'm a big fan of Anthony. He's a lovely fella from the south of England, but I did need to explain to Anthony that since he just started back in the gym, creatine probably won't do much right now. Also, the temperature of the water doesn't really matter, even if he does start taking it eventually. But the thing is, he'd seen on Instagram a fella talking nonsense like they do, saying, hey, stop wasting creatine by using cold water. Room temperature water has been shown to increase absorption by 18%. And I just wish these guys on Instagram would shut up because most of this is nonsense, but this happens constantly. And again, I'm going to demonize the internet like the old git that I am. Guys will message me asking whether brown rice or white rice is better for fat loss after seeing something on YouTube. But when I ask them about their protein intake, they have no idea. Or they want to know the optimal time to take magnesium, but they're not even taking it consistently on a daily basis yet. And here's what's happening. We live in a world where everything gets broken down into these finest details as people look for something to post online where they can complicate things and then charge us money to solve the complicated thing which wasn't even complicated in the first place. And retailers do it too. Just go try ordering a regular coffee at Starbucks. You need a bloody PhD these days just to navigate all the options. And it's this obsession with the finer details that's everywhere in the fitness and nutrition industry too. We're encouraged to become connoisseurs. Just working out and busting up your muscles a bit 3 times a week is frowned upon. You're supposed to know the fancy Latin names for every muscle that you're hitting and analysing every exercise to death. So we convince ourselves that if we can just get all of these finer details perfect first, then we'll finally succeed. But then there's no point starting until we have everything perfect, right? Otherwise we're going to fail. So it's really a form of procrastination disguised as preparation. Now, by the way, shameless plug, my 4.99 or 99p, if you're in the UK, ebooks on Amazon cut through all this nonsense so you can focus on what matters in your diet, your workouts, habits and hormonal balance. I will link to those in the description. So I want to illustrate how easy it is to get sidetracked by these details that don't matter. So let's dive into my inbox and look at a few recent questions from podcast listeners. So question 1, should I take creatine with warm or cold water? Like I said before, first question back from me, are you working out consistently enough that creatine will actually help? Second question, are you taking creatine consistently already? If the answer to either of those questions is no, the water temperature doesn't matter yet, and to be honest, doesn't really matter in the future either. Next question, what's better for building muscle, incline or flat bench press? My initial response, are you training consistently? Have you tried both of those already and compared which one you connect better with? If not, do that first and then worry about optimization. But also, both are great. So even alternating 6 weeks of one and 6 weeks of the other is a great longer term idea as well. Next question, brown rice or white rice for fat loss? Here's the thing, it doesn't matter. If you're still eating too many calories overall and not getting enough protein, you're asking about the colour of rice while ignoring the kind of fundamentals that actually will determine whether you lose weight or not. Brown rice is deemed healthier because it is higher in fibre and it has a lower glycemic index, so theoretically spikes your blood sugar less. But from my book, it is gross, and so I never eat it, and I look and feel fine. The great thing is that you're choosing rice over something more processed, so that is the win here with rice. Next question, when's the best time to take my vitamins? My follow-up question, are you taking them regularly in the first place? Because taking them at the wrong time consistently beats taking them at the perfect time sometimes. Now, I'm exaggerating here about how abrupt I am with my answers, I promise you. If you email me with a question, I am much friendlier. But the pattern I'm trying to point out here is that guys are focusing on things that can improve things by maybe 1%, as if they're athletes looking for these kind of marginal gains, while ignoring the 99% of stuff that actually matters when you're just a slightly older fella trying to get fitter and healthier and have arms that you like showing off. And if you think about it, guys were getting in incredible shape decades ago without worrying about any of these details. Arnold Schwarzenegger did not spend hours on Google researching optimal meal timing. He just ate a lot of protein, he trained consistently. In the 70s and 80s, fellas would go to the gym, do basic compound movements and a bit of arm isolation stuff, eat a load of meat and carbs and vegetables, and they would get jacked. They didn't have apps tracking their macros, they did not have debates about rice colour, they did not obsess over supplement timing either. They just nailed those fundamentals: consistent training, adequate protein, enough sleep, and progressive overload in the weights you're lifting in the gym. That's it. That's what we need to focus on too now. But now we have access to infinite information, we convince ourselves that our success probably lies in optimizing every tiny detail here. Meanwhile, we skip workouts because we haven't figured out the perfect program yet. Now, a lot of my coaching clients are starting from scratch, having not trained in years, but I do have some clients who come to me because they are annoyed that they are working out consistently and they really know their stuff about working out and training, but they still look and feel the same way after years and years of effort. And with these guys, I almost have to dumb down the programs that they've been following, as they are so complicated, full of online guru training hacks and fancy exercises, when we go all the way back to basics of using free weights most of the time, plus a good few machines, training hard 3 times a week, and then leaving your body the hell alone to recover and grow, then progress magically happens again, because we took an old school, low tech, less research approach. And for the first 4 weeks in my coaching program, I deliberately start guys on nailing these simple fundamentals in the kind of foundations phase. There's no fancy periodization workout routines. There's no complicated diet timing protocols. There's just consistent daily actions that actually move the needle. Most good coaches really don't have any magical exercises or diet tips or hacks that you haven't heard of that are the key to helping you get in shape. They are just masters at helping you do the basic things consistently in your life and working around your personal challenges. So I help guys hit their protein targets, show up to the gym regularly and work out in short but effective ways. I help them get decent sleep and manage their stress. There's nothing complicated, because our lives these days are complicated enough. So before you get bogged down with the minutiae of diets and workouts, remember, here's what actually matters if you want to get in shape after 40. Are you training consistently 3 to 4 times a week? Are you eating adequate protein daily? Are you in a slight and manageable caloric deficit if fat loss is a goal? Are you getting decent sleep most nights? Are you managing stress and recovery? If you can't answer yes to those basics, then asking about the rice colour or the supplement timing is like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, which incidentally was built here in Belfast where I live, and we always say it was working fine when it left here, so don't blame us about what happened. But anyway, those are the questions that you should be focusing on. And please don't think I don't make these mistakes myself all the time. I hope it always comes across when I'm doing these podcasts and videos that I'm not some know-it-all who lives a perfect fitness lifestyle. I struggle the same as you do. I've just probably managed to nail the basics a bit more often than a lot of guys our age, thankfully. I know how easy it is though to scroll and scroll and scroll online, watching wee videos about this and that mistake that you must not make, and oh my god, I can't believe that you do lateral raises with your thumb in that position when this thumb position recruits 23% more muscle fibers. It is addictive, all of this scrolling, but it's not helping us get in shape. At 49, I'm in the best shape I've ever been in, even in better shape than I was in my 20s. And it's come from doing boring, consistent basics, sprinkling a wee bit of variety on top to keep things interesting. It has not come from optimizing creatine timing or finding the perfect pre-workout meal. Now, if you want to check out those 4 ebooks on Amazon, go to ovr40.co/books. They cover over 40's friendly approach to working out, eat for fat loss, optimizing testosterone, and nailing the healthy habits that hold it all together. Link for that in the description. A final word, like Jerry Springer used to do at the end of his shows. Remember, the answers that you're looking for aren't in the details. They are in the fundamentals that you keep on avoiding. Do the grown-up fundamental stuff this week. But take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.